D-Mac, Isaiah Buggs, the big story, was told he will not play against the Chiefs. I guess that's the leadoff, and he's letting people know, that he is upset about it, which, I would expect him to be upset about it. But what about that, D-Mac? I didn't hear a ton about this on the social medias. I would assume this is going to be one of those things to where it's going to be like a crutch reaction. If they lose, they don't stop the run, they're not effective in the middle of the defensive line, people will circle back to that, I would have the feeling.
Well, yeah, because what are you talking about? They're making a decision. Let's break this down to the why. Because what's the why is why Buggs isn't playing. It'd be because he's injured, or else somebody else is playing better, or the scheme or the system that they think that can stop the run, right, is by committee, and he's not one of these guys that has made, so to speak, the cut on that committee to start the game. What, to me, I don't know if it is, but does that mean that some of the rookies have stepped up? Does it mean that a healthy John Kaminsky, Josh Paschal, guys like these that have stepped up? So, and I'll be the first. Here, Neal, if they don't stop the run and it's apparent that that's the reason that they're not, then I'll be the first one to.
You'll be the Grand Marshal in that parade?
I'll be the Grand Marshal of where the hell is Buggs, right? So, unfortunately, I think this is one of those cases. I'm hoping it's one of those cases. Is that you got to trust Dan Campbell and his coaching staff, and if this is defense to Aaron Glenn to whatever, that other guys have performed or will perform better against what the game plan for what they think the Chiefs will throw at them. Does that make sense too? Maybe it's the versatility that they're not worried as much about Buggs plugging that line and guys running at him, that they need somebody more mobile to go chase Mahomes if he gets out of the pocket. So I have no problem with it until it doesn't work. Right?
Yeah.
Because but I mean, how can we all not? How can we question? We can't question this decision, but I think we can all question it if it doesn't work, and that's the apparent. Right? They go out and lose, but they shut down the run game, or it's efficient. Well, they still made the right coaching decision in that aspect. It's units and it's all together. So I just think other guys start naming other guys. I know that guys are getting healthy from last year. So opportunity is right there. And I think maybe if you press it, they want a little bit more mobility because they're not worried about Mahomes running up the middle or Pacheco or whatever like this, but they're worried about the scrambling and making those Patrick Mahomes 7-second plays.
Yeah, and look, we know this. No matter what happens in the game with the Lions and the Chiefs, your post-game home is going to be Woodward Sports Network, everybody. Tom Mazaway will be hosting the post-game show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid chugging celebrations. You don't want to miss
baby.
it.
Stick's back.
Stick is going to be back in the house as well. Maz and special guests every week directly following every Lions game exclusively on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Explosive viewership last year on the post-game shows.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way other media entities in this town had more. There's no way.
I used to, so I would TD the post-game shows last year, and I would be really hammered because we'd be at the brass rail for the majority of it.
And that's your spot.
And so I'd be getting after it all game. And then I'd be throwing up the dumbest polls ever, based on who did well. It was like Tom Kennedy or Jerry Rice. Who's a better receiver. Those were good times.
Those were good times. I saw the one you pinned to the top earlier. Bring Chris Jones home.
Chris Jones home.
We're going to talk about it in the next segment. Also, the Patrick Mahomes hate segment going on congruently with the show. Like Run DMG, Patrick Mahomes looks like my big toe. And I don't know what that means.
But he's right.
But he's probably right. Mike G, you'll like this one, D-Mac. Mahomes paid Franz Nielsen and Stephen Weiss their contracts. Oh. So I owe Kenny Holland an apology. Oh. It was actually Patrick Mahomes that signed Stephen Weiss and Franz Nielsen.
What a savage.
That is brutal. But Spenny, I know you guys got to it on the heavyweights on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the Isaiah Buggs thing, because it was...
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Oh, that's right. You were out.
Yeah.
What were the streets telling you about it?
I don't know. The streets are saying it could be something. The streets are saying it could be a trade in the works.
So this could be a falling out.
He removed everything from all the Lions off of his social medias.
Oh, not that.
Yeah, I mean, that means something nowadays. So we'll see. I mean, I have a hard time believing they'd just be like, hey, you're not playing this game. And but he's still on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's a good defensive tackle. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here for it. Brad's doing something.
The Bugs thing, and D-Mac, this runs counter to all of the... Look, what's been the big thing with the Dan Campbell era? What's everybody point to? The locker room, right?
Absolutely.
The locker room. The locker room mentality. The...
All-in mentality.
All in. Everybody has all in. Everybody's on the... everyone's prepared to give it up for whatever needs to be done. This is the first bump in that road, isn't it?
Well, is it a bump in the road, or is it something that, you're putting the team together, right? And along the way, there's going to be casualties that either don't fit into your game plan or sit out or want to be around. I think this is more... if I'm going to read between the lines here, I think that, obviously, if he takes his social media down something, then it's bigger than that. But it's also, too, it might not be contentious where it's you're not part of the plan, and he thinks that he can be an asset or part of the plan, and then he's asked, well, can you move me somewhere where I can play? I think this is just Bugs wanting to play more than wanting to be a role player and you're something like this, right? So, but in all honesty, we're talking, he's expendable, isn't he? Especially if the rest of the defensive line, this is what's telling me more apparent is that the other guys are doing the job. Right, together, and other guys have stepped up. Who was the rookie you mentioned?
What about Broderick Martin? That's your mind's guy.
So I think that this move right here, where the conversation has been had, and Bugs is allowed to react any way he wants, right? He doesn't have to, go along with it or whatever. But to me, this tells me that Broderick Martin might be in the game plan to move in quicker. So I don't think this is a chink in the armor. I think this is just, professional sports 101. What have you done for me lately? And if you're not part of the plan,
and that cuts both ways.
It cuts
the
both
team
ways.
And the player.
Yes,
right.
and that also too in this situation where we're questioning this, doesn't this get you excited? Where it's not SOL because guys are fighting for spots, and this is a guy that we thought would be there, and a guy that obviously they re-signed, but it's not working out. So, I mean, again. Let's wait and see, because we could be here on Friday talking about, why didn't Bugs play? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's the case. I think that the game plan that they're putting ahead just doesn't include him for Kansas City.
D-Mac, that's why I like doing the show with you, because how passionate you are about everything, but you've been in the locker room. So when it turns to that and you say, yes, that cuts both ways. That's on the player, that's on the team too. That's the way pro athletes work. That's the way it works inside those locker rooms, man. These are $1 million guys, $2 million a year guys, man. That's the way that it works. Real quickly, Spenmo, you discovered Broderick Martin single-handedly.
I wouldn't say that.
When you were at Lions training camp, you were the one. You were the first on the scene.
Okay, I'll accept that responsibility.
Yeah, you and Brad Holmes were the only two guys that knew about Broderick Martin.
That's true.
Does that tell you, though? Does that tell you something?
I don't know what it tells me. I honestly have no idea.
Does it tell you something about Broderick Martin, though?
I think they have more faith in him, yeah, but I still don't know. I still think something's happening.
Okay, so I'm just being extra.
No, I mean, they definitely have to have some faith in him to be able to do that, but this isn't over. This Bugs situation is not over.
Oh, no, it's not. Tony D, Motor City Dan Campbell, no turd. So, we'll see. And a tour says you can't blame Bugs for reacting that way. Being told you're not practicing days before the season opener way more often than not means that you're traded. And yeah, I mean, at that same point, you want guys that it means something to them. If everybody is about the culture and everything like that, it is going to upset them.